exactly the way you wish you could. I look good, I look good. Come on. I'm in love with a girl that I call old school. Sipping on my brandy, I'm feeling brand new. Got the feather in my hat because I'm just that cool. You peeping at my alligators bent kind of slow. I look good, I look good. I look exactly the way you wish you could. I look good, I look good. I look good.
Ricky Romero will start this series against Tampa Bay. Romero, great outing last time out against the Red Sox. Tough lineup for Romero. 5-5 Tampa Bay Rays. Here's Joe Maddon's lineup. Desmond Jennings, Carlos Pena, Evan Longoria. This trip against left-handed pitching. Longoria is 6 for 8. He's hit 3 doubles, a home run, and driven in 2. Lefties have been a problem for Tampa Bay, but not the case at the start of this season. Luke Scott's the DH. Ben Zobrist, a tough switch hitter, batting 5th.
You mentioned the great outing that Romero had against the Boston Red Sox. Pitching into the 9th inning, gave up just 1 run. He also gave up just 3 hits for the game, and they all came in the 2nd inning when the Sox scored their only run. He also had a run during that game where he retired 17 batters in a row. You let Ricky Romero get on a roll, good things are going to happen for the Jays.
For his career, he is 5-4 against Tampa Bay. Desmond Jennings, the center fielder, leads things off. Misses inside. Jennings is playing center field in the absence of B.J. Upton, who is dealing with some back issues. Upton is currently on a rehab assignment, working his way back toward the big leagues.
Ran into Jennings in spring training. They collided in left center field. I don't know, Buck, if you had a chance to see that. That was scary.
Desmond Jennings, a former football player, is a big young man, and he has hit well against the Blue Jays. 2-0. Laid on a fastball, he fouls it back out of play. We mentioned Ricky Romero with a 5-4 career record against Tampa Bay. He lost a tough game here last April. Matched up against James Shields, gave up a 2-run home run in the first, the only runs of the ball game. There's a strike. It's 2-2.
That's the interesting thing that you'll have to watch, that Zobrist home run. They like to go up there hitting left-handed against Ricky Romero.
Jennings fouls it straight back. Joe Maddon has 4 left-handed hitters in the lineup tonight, and for his career, Ricky Romero has actually handled right-handed hitters better than left-handed hitters, so Maddon is going to go with the percentages. Breaking ball inside. I think Romero has addressed that issue. I think he has developed a very good cut fastball that he can get down and away. The curveball was very effective against the 3 left-handers in the Red Sox lineup last time out. Jam shot, broken bat, foul down the left field line.
Well, for his career, you mentioned that he's a little bit better versus right-handers against left-handers, and usually a left-handed pitcher should be a little bit tougher versus left-handed batters. Romero last year, righties hit just 194 off of Ricky. So you would think, okay, well, put in a bunch of left-handers. But he has addressed it. You're right. He'll throw that cut fastball now to both sides of the plate to the right-handers.
Payoff pitch. Cut out and missed. Jennings strikes out.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for Ricky Romero, brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. That fastball right there, he can cut it and he can sink it. He'll throw the changeup, which he'll use for a strikeout pitch, and a good curveball that he is, I think, gaining more confidence with the more that we see Ricky Romero. That curveball, I think, is a very key pitch to him. His fastball, he can cut it and he can sink it.
Carlos Pena always forces the Blue Jays into a dramatic shift. That is Brett Laurie in shallow right field, coming all the way across the diamond from his position at third. 1 out. Carlos Pena. Pena back with the Rays after a year in Chicago with the Cubs. Last year, Pena hit .225 with 28 homers and 80 RBIs. Off to a great start this season in his return to Tampa Bay.
They tinkered a little bit with the second spot in the order all spring long. They tried Luke Scott there, but Carlos Pena, they put him in there towards the end of spring training. And Joe Madden said, you know, he's gotten off to a good start. He'll see some fastballs, and he's a very good fastball hitter when it's down. And it's worked out for him.
Pena is currently tied with Nick Swisher for the RBI lead in the American League with 11. Ball is hammered past Bautista up against the wall. He's got a shot here at Pena. Here's the throw to second. What a throw! Got him by a mile. Bautista played it perfectly. Jose had 13 assists a year ago. He guns down Pena, making a bid for 2.
Not a real smart decision here. Pena clubs this high fastball to right field. Remember, everybody has shifted over, even Bautista, the right fielder. He sets himself, he turns his body to the infield, and this is easy. It's an easy throw for Bautista to second base. He picks up his first outfield assist of the season.
What a beautiful throw, right on the money to Yunel Escobar. Defense has been huge for the Blue Jays early in the season. They have made great plays in the outfield, great plays on the infield. The catcher's done a terrific job. Longoria hits it high into the air and deep into center. Rasmus tracking it on the warning track, but he'll make the catch. Defense helps out Ricky Romero here in the first. That great arm in right. The order: Escobar, Johnson, Bautista, and then Adam Lynn, and he has had a good run against Jeff Neiman. 11 for 26, including 2 homers, 7 RBIs, and a 1.308 OPS. Edwin Encarnacion, we mentioned his great start. Brett Laurie up over 300. Eric Thames, Kobe Erasmus, and J.P. Arancibia all trying to get something going down the bottom third of the order.
That'll be up against Jeff Neiman, who takes his 0-1 record to the mound tonight. He allowed 3 runs, 4 hits, walked 2, striking out 6. He took that loss. That was Thursday in Detroit against that very good Tiger team. There are the numbers for Big Jeff Neiman in his career. He's 4-3 with a .523 earned run average. That's in 11 career starts against the Blue Jays.
Tampa Bay won the season series a year ago. They took 12 of the 18 games. Ellie Johnson looks like he's having a good time. That's one thing about the Rays. They know how to enjoy a ball game.
That would be a fun team to play on, I think.
Luke Scott told me that today. Luke Scott in his first year with Tampa Bay said, man, I fit right in here. A whole bunch of baseball players. David Price, he is one of the biggest fans on that Rays bench. He loves baseball, and he won't miss a pitch. He'll be into the popcorn before too long, too. Yunel Escobar set to start things off against Jeff Neiman. Jumps on the first pitch and hops it into center field. Desmond Jennings over to his left makes the catch. 1 out.
Big Jeff Neiman, all 6'9" of them. Let's take a look at the scouting report for Neiman. He'll use his fastball. It's not as good as it was a few years ago. His curve, he's got the changeup. I think he's very slow to the plate. I think we might see the Blue Jays try and steal on him. He's a fly ball pitcher, throwing more cutters this year. You can see 5% was his number that he has used so far in the season. That's something that he really didn't use at all last year.
Kelly Johnson looks at a first pitch strike. That's the report the Blue Jays got from spring training, that Neiman had been working on the cut fastball. It'll be something to watch for here this evening. Johnson 10 for 37 in the early going. Pulls back from that inside pitch.
That might have been it right there. The cut fastball. At one time in his career, Neiman threw a splitter. I think he has bagged that. The whole key, I think, for Neiman is his curveball. He can create some downward movement with that because he's so tall. When he is throwing it for strikes, that's when he can be good.
He creates a wicked angle at 6'9" tall. And then you add the 10 inches on the mound. He is way up there, and it's challenging for hitters. Off the plate outside. The catcher is Chris Jimenez. He is in his second game. He was just called up. Played on Sunday in Boston. Jose Molina, the former Jay, is here. He is doing most of the catching. Kelly Johnson caught looking at a fastball. Jimenez dropped the ball, and I think Kelly Johnson knew immediately that that was a good pitch.
He might have been looking for that curveball, Buck, right there, and it's a fastball right down the middle and just freezes Kelly Johnson for the second out. That's how good his curveball is.
Jose Bautista starting to show signs. He is about ready to break out. What a swing. He fouls it straight back. The Rays have always been known for their shifts, but this year they've taken their shifts even a step further. Look at the infield. That's the second baseman, Sean Rodriguez, basically up the middle at shortstop, and then in the hole is Reed Brignac, and Longoria is hugging the line. See you later. He's back.
Jose Bautista was telling me around the batting cage today that he felt like his timing was starting to come around, and he felt like he was in between pitches, not real sure of himself. This time, he's sure of himself. Fastball right down Broadway, and Jose doesn't miss it. That is the Bautista that we have watched the last couple of years.
What a great sign for the Blue Jays. Take a look at this swing.
Watch the timing mechanism that he uses. He gets back on that back foot, front leg raises, and then full extension through the baseball.
There's not a shift designed in the world that can counteract that. Pretty good start for Jose Bautista in this game. He threw out Carlos Pena at second for the second out of the top half of the inning, and then gives Ricky Romero a 1-0 lead. And Adam Lind has always hit well against Jeff Neiman. There's still a buzz in the crowd over that Bautista homer. It's kind of fitting that Jose would homer in his first at bat against Tampa Bay this season. Last year he had 7 home runs against the Rays. He also had 7 against the Twins. But he had a 1.347 OPS against Tampa Bay last year. That was his best number against any ball club.
That's driving in some big runs, picking up some big hits.
He actually had a 1.941 against Minnesota, but that was just in 6 games, and he had that 3-homer game against Minnesota on the 15th of May.
That whole series, I think he hit something like 5 home runs in that series in Minnesota. But the swing we saw, that was Bautista.
And there's Lind. His cousin's back in town, Jeff Neiman. His 12th hit in his 27th at bat against Neiman.
Crosses up the defense of the Tampa Bay Rays. That time they thought Adam Lim was going to pull Jeff Neiman, but he fools them. Goes the other way. You can't cover the whole field. You look at the tendencies, and that's what Lim's got to do. He's got to stay on that ball that's down and away and stay with it.
If he hits that ball all year, he hit 350. That was a good pitch from Neiman. 2 outs, Lind at first for the red-hot Edwin Encarnacion. Another different variation of Joe Madden's shift. Brignac is in the hole at short, but look at Sean Rodriguez. He's almost directly behind the pitcher.
There is a big hole. If you can ground one right to where the shortstop should be, straight away short. And Encarnacion has been known to do that.
Joe Madden was asked about some of the shifts he has employed already this season, and they said more exaggerated shift this year. He says, yeah, we're just taking better use of the percentages.
He thinks outside the box. He really has a game plan. You know, when you see all these kind of configurations, there is certainly something behind it. He is not just picking that out and just doing it for the heck of it.
No, it's not random. He's just not sitting there saying, I think he'd look good if he was over there in that hole. Let's move him a little bit. No, he puts a lot of study into the spray charts.
Look where Evan Longoria, the third baseman, is.
Yeah.
This is almost like the type of defense you will see from your third baseman in the 8th or 9th inning of a tie game.
Tough to get it past him and keep it fair. Missed down and away. But it does affect hitters' thinking. Sometimes hitters will try to beat the shift and change their approach. The goal for a hitting instructor, telling his hitters about this defense is don't change a thing. Just go ahead and swing the way you're capable of. Ray Murphy thought that's what created a lot of problems for Bautista. Ball is popped in the air. Pena in foul ground is there, and the inning is over. But an exciting start to the night for Jose Bautista. Home run number 2 comes in his first at bat, and it's a long one. Ricky Romero with a 1-0 lead, set to work the top of the second. Luke Scott in his first year with Tampa Bay. Off to a good start. He's homered twice in 7 games. There's the curveball to a left-handed hitter. That's such an important weapon. And once again, Pat, they're using that exaggerated shift.
Luke Scott played for the Baltimore Orioles last year, and this is how they defended him, putting the third baseman in short right field. Likes to get the barrel of the bat out and yank pitches. back to that left-hander, you're right. Being able to throw curveballs early in the count to left-handers, I think, is a huge key for Romero.
Adam Lynn taking a page out of Evan Longoria's book, just on the outside of the field. He's barely in fair territory. Fastball inside. Tell you what, I think John Farrell and his staff watch Tampa Bay a lot and try to break down things the way the Rays do. You see Torey Lovullo and Brian Butterfield talking about positioning, and they're constantly moving people around and watching hitters react.
How about that?
That's more than hugging the line.
I don't think he's going to hit a ball between the bag and Lynn down into that right field corner. Not when you're standing like that. Those two are always talking, always plotting, always trying to figure out a way to beat the opposition.
Another breaking ball gets Luke Scott. That curveball has really become an important weapon for Ricky Romero.
He needed it to throw strikes against the Red Sox when he pitched into the ninth inning, and I think he's going to have to use it against the lefties here tonight. Ricky Romero just has so many weapons, and he's got the knowledge and the smarts that if something is not working, he is able to adjust to it and then try and find something else to get you out. That's why he is getting better and better and better every year.
Ben Zobrist has hit well against Ricky Romero. Again, they alter the defense according to Zobrist and his spray chart. You can see Laurie is off the line at third, as is Lind at first.
It'll also give you a little bit of a knowledge or a little bit of a clue as a hitter of how they might try and pitch you. If you see the infield pulled way over, you can guess it's going to be some type of off-speed pitch, or maybe they're going to try and pitch you inside. So take a look out there and see how they're playing you. Maybe you can pick up an advantage.
But Laurie's giving Zobrist a lot of the line at third, but then again, he's so explosive he can just about get to anything. Zobrist will take the walk. It comes with one out here, top of the second. It's BlackBerry Tweeting Tuesday. You can stay up to date with all the latest Blue Jays news and information by following the club on Twitter @BlueJays. Submit your question during tonight's game to @BlueJays, and we could answer that question on the air. It could be our Twitter fan question of the night. BlackBerry Tweeting Tuesdays every Tuesday night at home. This man works for 9 innings on both sides of the ball. Brian Butterfield moving a defense on the infield. Romero misses with the first pitch to Matt Joyce.
Ricky had some problems in the second inning of his first start, and it all goes back to that fastball command. He just wasn't able to find the feel of the fastball in that start.
You remember after that ball game when he held the Red Sox to 3 hits in 8 1/3, he said his bullpen was terrible. How about the defense? Let him hit it. The gloves will help you out. Adam Lynn doing some great work around the bag. Snares the line drive and calmly steps on the bag.
Tuesdays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware and building center location. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Jose Bautista hit his second home run of the season to give the Blue Jays a 1-0 lead here at Rogers Center. They need to turn things around against the AL East. Last year, that was the problem. They just couldn't beat the teams in their own division. They had a 33-39 record.
Yeah, they own Baltimore. There's no problem with them. It was everybody else that they struggled with.
Eric Thames takes a pitch inside. Thames just 6 for 24 to start the season. In 61 games here in his home ballpark, he's got a good average at 275.
It's a good matchup for Thames right here.
He cut at that inside pitch.
Neiman will challenge you, and he'll use his fastball, especially early in the count. He is a fly ball pitcher for the most part in his career. Gave up 18 home runs last year, 25 the year before. I think that's why he's trying to cut the ball a little bit more and keep it off the barrel of the bat.
The ball is hooking down the right field line and foul. Let's take a moment now for the player tweet of the game, and it came from Brett Laurie on Sunday when he said, "Swing it, fellas, another rocket outing for my boy at Kyle Drabek 4." Brett Laurie impressed by the efforts of his young starting pitcher. It's that high breaking ball. That's the pitch you talked about that hasn't been as effective for Neiman lately.
Got to get it over for a strike. He's got a good one. Straight down.
Ames didn't want to, but he chased that high fastball. That's the second strikeout for Jeff Neiman.
You know, you can see hitters when they are in between, when they take these types of swings. Looking for a curveball, they change them up and they throw a fastball, and they're in between. They just have to see the ball when you get to 2 strikes and just let it go.
Brett Laurie up over 300. It's a better curveball from Neiman to start this at bat. Laurie had a couple of hits, including his first home run of the season on Sunday. Had 3 RBI, had a solo home run, was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, and singled in his final at bat. Been a good homestand. 8 for 22 with 4 ribbies.
Another foul ball
right off the knob of the bat.
On another check swing by the Jays.
Indecisive. Clear up your thought process and look for one pitch until you get 2 strikes.
I think that's just being familiar or unfamiliar with the pitchers. Laurie and Thames versus Neiman.
Laurie is 1 for 3 in his previous looks at Jeff Neiman. Same for Eric Thames. He'd been 1 for 3 prior to striking out.
So now they've had a couple of at-bats against him, and I think the pitchers always get the upper hand when they're facing a batter early in their career. Don't really know about the breaking ball. You don't find any patterns. It's still too early. As a hitter, you're just looking for the baseball.
Outside. Thames got a pretty good fastball tonight. That was 93 miles an hour and just missed away.
As long as he's driving down, staying over that rubber and getting on top of that baseball and driving it down, And he can give up the home runs when he starts leaking it up in the strike zone.
Upstairs, back-to-back strikeouts here in the second. Another fastball.
We're going to have a little cut at the end. Just a little bit. So he's throwing a little bit more cut fastballs early in this game.
Homie Rasmus. Rasmus batting 188. He has a homer. He's also driven in 5. Goes after that high fastball and seems to be comfortable working upstairs. Interesting to watch the Blue Jays and how they adjust second time through the order.
Watching over there, and you see if he starts you with fastballs, which he'll do early in the count.
How difficult is it if Neiman can get that curveball over because he's so tall, pitching up with the fastball and then getting that curveball over? That's a wide spectrum to try to protect.
And it's a 2-plane curveball, meaning it starts on one plane and ends up on a different one. You got fastball in your mind early in the count, and then he drops that 2-plane curveball on you. It's tough to stay with it.
Is the release point similar with the fastball and the curveball?
For Neiman it is, and that's a whole key of throwing a good breaking ball is having the same release point in the same zone where you throw that fastball out of.
Neiman's ahead, 1-2, 2 outs. We are in the second. Rasmus rides it high and deep to center. Jennings on the warning track will make the catch. Rasmus hit it hard. A 1-2-3 second for Neiman with a pair of strikeouts. Baseball Bio brought to you by Apple Auto Glass. You'll see we care. Baseball Bio, Ricky Romero. He's 27, born in L.A. He loves the 49ers and the Lakers. In fact, this winter, he served as a reporter and covered a Laker game, interviewed the coach. And Ricky Romero likes defense.
Now, if you're on the other side, the Tampa Bay Rays, you're saying, boy, we're hitting a lot of line drives off of Romero early in this game, and we're just not finding any holes. Defensive positioning. Johnson perfectly goes up there and snags it.
That's why the coaches move the defense around. You don't defend on bloops and broken bats. You defend on hard hit balls, and that's paid off very well. Reed Brignac takes a first pitch strike. During the break, Brian Butterfield continues to work with his second baseman about positioning against this Rays lineup.
You know, Johnson is new to the league, coming over in that trade from Arizona late last year. So he's learning the league also, and he's also learning where the Blue Jays like to position their middle infielders. They do it a little bit differently than other teams. They like to play off the cut of the mound.
Broken back. Escobar gets a big hop at short. Briniak's retired, 2 outs. And it's not anything more than hard work, and that's what the coaches do. They'll get Ricky Romero's pattern, they'll look at his starts, they'll look at his starts against Tampa Bay and say, okay, here's where 1 through 9, this is where we want you to play them. And they're always checking on them.
They'll also come in and they'll watch Tampa Bay's last few games. They probably watched the whole 4-game series against the Boston Red Sox before they came here, and they saw how the Red Sox pitched them, saw how the Red Sox defended them, and then incorporate the strengths of the Blue Jays and what they saw on the tapes. And that's how you come up with a scouting report.
And then they will get a scouting report from Kevin Cash, who watched the series in Boston, and he will give them his perspective of watching them live. Chris Jimenez, the catcher. Jimenez has played with the Indians for a couple of seasons, spent last year with Seattle. This is his 99th big league game. Changeup he lays off him. We mentioned Ricky Romero's bio. He also still lives at home with his parents when he goes to California, and he'll take his little sister Vanessa to school in the morning and pick her up in the afternoon. And you can bet that Vanessa feels pretty proud when her big league brother Ricky drops her off at school and then is there waiting for her at the end of the day.
You know, he's such a pro. He never settles on his past successes. He always wants to get better, always trying to defeat the other team, trying to find ways to do that.
There's a breaking ball hit down the right field line. That's a fair ball, but goes all the way into the corner. Jimenez is headed for second, and he'll get there with a 2-out double. Stayed with that curveball and just served it down the right field line.
Not known as being a great hitter, but that's a good piece of hitting right there. Stayed behind that curveball, let it break. Didn't overcommit early in the batter's box and just went right with it. Pick up an extra base hit, just the second hit of the night for the Rays.
That's the one thing about Ricky Romero. He'll never panic if something's not working for him early in the game. He'll just continue to try to tinker with his delivery and see if he can't find it. First pitch strike to the leadoff batter. Desmond Jennings struck out in his first at bat. Jennings shows bunt and pulls the bat back.
That's just a deke right there. You know, you're a right-handed batter. You finally get a left-hander on the mound. You've got a guy in scoring position with 2 outs. You're not going to lay down a bunt here and say, hey, the guy behind me, you drive him in.
Yeah, especially if that's a left-hander like Carlos Pena.
Certainly. So, Brett Lawrie, don't fall for that. Stay back there.
That tied him up. A breaking ball inside, and Jennings is in a hole. Ricky Romero has power stuff and a thinking man's makeup. He'll think his way through an inning. On the ground, right to Lawrie. Rays leave a base runner, a 2-out double. JP Arencibia trying to get things going. He'll start it off. Then Yunel Escobar and Kelly Johnson. for the Farm Report. We're going to look at some good young pitching. Noah Syndergaard, Justin Nicolino, and Aaron Sanchez. Syndergaard and Sanchez are right-handed. Nicolino's a left-handed. Pat, they're off to a great start combined this season.
21 innings pitched, no earned runs, 29 strikeouts, and I'm telling you, the Blue Jay brass is very excited about this group of young pitchers. I was talking to John Farrell about them today, and right now they do a very interesting thing with these young pitchers. They don't want to give them too many innings. They're only 19 years old, so they piggyback. One will throw 3 innings, and the other one will throw 3 innings in the same game. And I asked him, when is that going to change? When are they going to start stretching them out? And he said probably around June or so, that one of them will go up to high A ball probably and stretch them out and get to 4, 5, 6 innings, and the same thing will happen. A couple of them will stay down in A ball, but boy, there's a bright future with those kids.
JP Arencibia to count in his favor 2-0. Noah Syndergaard is just 19 years old. He's 6'5" and weighs 200 pounds. Just a big, strong kid that's going to fill out. 3-0 to Arencibia.
They're looking between 130 and maxing out at 150 innings with those kids because they're just 19. Just kind of like give them a little feel for pro ball. You don't want to get them out there before they're 21 years old and just blow out their arms.
There's a strike. Give you an example. This is the 3rd year for Noah Syndergaard, and he's pitched a total of 72 1/3.
Total.
In 2 years. So they're very, very careful with their prized possessions. 3-1 to the Blue Jays catcher, JP Arencibia, leading things up. JP's had a rough start to his season, just 2 for 28. Longoria knocks it down, recovers, bounces it, not in time. JP hit it right off the meat hand of the third baseman, Evan Longoria. His 3rd hit of the season. Whoa, they gave him an error.
This is a Gold Glove third baseman right here. You see it come up off the seam and get him right in his bare hand, and that's why that throw takes a couple of hops to get to Carlos Pena. But that ball was smoked by JP Arencibia and just ate up Longoria. That's a tough error.
That's a bad call. That's a hard hit baseball to a Gold Glover, and he can't make a play on it, and you're home. That's got to be a hit. Certainly. For a guy that's 2 for 28.
Yeah, you don't think JP Arencibia wants a hit right now? You're right, that point about the Gold Glover. If he can, if the Gold Glover can't make the play,
catch it, it's a hit. Just the 4th error committed by Tampa Bay this year. Yunel Escobar shows bunt and pulls the bat back.
Lots of options right here for John Farrell. They can bunt, they can hit and run. Escobar makes contact. They could try and play for a big inning. They really like to put pressure on that pitcher.
Neiman got instructions to step off just to see if the Blue Jays wouldn't tip their hand. John Farrell has said it time and time again since he's become the manager of the Blue Jays. He wants an uncomfortable offense. Make the other team on defense nervous. Put doubt in their mind. What are they going to do? Inside, and then you become a distraction. Base runners on, even though it's the catcher, Arencibia, with Butterfield going through the signs. Neiman's attention is divided.
Thinking about, will they put the hit and run on? I have to stay in my lanes as a pitcher. There's so many things that's going on through the pitcher's mind right now because you make him feel uncomfortable.
Bounce to Longoria, and he drops it. Longoria, one of the best, going to his left, got it in his glove, and the ball popped right out. He was going to get one for sure. I don't know about a double play.
Yeah, he was going to get one. That's a nice pick right there. But when he goes to transfer from glove to hand, he drops it. Longoria, a Gold Glove winner in 2009 and in 2010. upset that he can't get at least one out on that ball by Escobar.
We mentioned the Rays had committed just 3 years before tonight. They've made 2 in this inning.
They were the finest fielding team in the American League last year. To go along with that great starting pitching, they only made 73 errors all last year, the fewest in the American League. Pitching and defense is the way they play the game.
Kelly Johnson, Longoria at third, expects the bunt. Bounced out in front of home. Neiman will go to second for 1. No time to turn 2. So Arancibia moves to third. Johnson reaches first on the fielder's choice, and that'll set the table for Jose Bautista.
You know, we have seen in the past Joe Madden pitch around Jose Bautista. Here's the home run back in the first inning. Fastball right down Broadway, and Jose times it perfectly for his second home run of the season. When Neiman went to second base trying to get the double play, they might have been able to pitch around Bautista. I don't think they're going to do it now with a runner at first base.
Well, the problem they have in this situation is Lind wears out Neiman. First and third, 1 out. I know the Blue Jays aren't going to run in this situation.
No.
Bautista just showing signs that he's going to get hot.
You're not even going to take a chance of running into an out right here. Not with the way Bautista hit that first ball in the first inning. He was telling me today that one of the problems that he has had over the last 10 days or so of the season was he was looking for a perfect pitch from the pitcher. And I said, Jose, there's no such thing as a perfect pitch. He said they've tried to throw away, and he's trying to hit everything. Well, you can't do that. He said, I'm going to look for my pitch. I'm just going to look for the baseball, and I'm going to put a good swing on it. And we certainly saw that in the first inning.
Pitch out. They still think something's up. Adam Lind is on deck. He's already singled against Neiman tonight. Lind is now 12 for 27 against the Rays right-handers. So Joe Madden's in a jam right here.
And he knows that too. Everybody knows the numbers and the matchups that he is going against. So it's just choose. Who do you want to go after?
Pick your poison. 2-0. Gets the breaking ball in there. Well, you make a great point about Bautista. Oftentimes people get to a certain point and say, okay, now I'm going to get better. Well, you know, 300 and 43 homers and 103 RBI. That's pretty good.
That's okay.
Yeah. Let's keep doing that. Way outside, that ball gets away. Look at Kelly Johnson. He stayed anchored at first base, not wanting to tempt Joe Madden into putting Bautista on. We have seen the Jays advance on a much shorter ball that gets away.
Out in front, and you got to think that the guy at the plate has something to do with that.
3-1, 1 out. Runners at the corners. Kind of off the end of the bat, but that's going to be deep enough to score Arancibia. Bautista delivers again. It's 2-0 Jays. Sacrifice fly for Jose.
Boy, he just missed another one right there. Fastball count, and Neiman challenges him. And he hits it right off the end of the bat, and you can see he knows he cracked that one, but he got it deep enough for the sac fly.
But he looks like the old Jose Bautista.
Yeah.
Thinking about left. Hit it to left. Do some damage. And he's getting close.
Find your pitch and don't worry about what the pitcher's trying to do to you. Just find a pitch and swing hard.
2-0 Blue Jays. Adam Lind singled his first time up. 2 outs. Adam Lynn looking for his first home run of the season. How much better do you see the ball when you're facing somebody you have a lot of success against?
Just feel comfortable, don't you, when you step into that batter's box? For some reason, there are certain pitchers around the league where you just feel comfortable. You see the ball. I mean, it looks as big as a beach ball, literally, when you're up there. And all of a sudden, facing those kind of pitchers can get you right again.
No matter how well they're throwing in a particular night, if you have success against a guy, you gain confidence when you know he's starting the game.
Yep, you just feel good.
Same way with Bautista. As we mentioned, he had hit 7 home runs against Tampa Bay last year. Ball on the strike. Well, that's a borderline fastball. Neiman has been effective with that fastball, just about let her high. He struck out Eric Thames and Brett Lawrie back in the second on that same pitch.
He will slide step when he is going to home with a runner at first base who could steal. And when he does slide step, he tends to keep the ball up in the strike zone.
Manager John Farrell will join us from the dugout after this next break. On Tuesday nights here at home, we get a chance to talk with the skipper. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A 2-0 ball game. Jays lead. It's all the way back to the backstop. Went off the glove of the catcher, but it's a wild pitch charged to Neiman.
No chance for Jimenez to pick that one up. Look at that. Just gets away from Neiman.
Kelly Johnson's in scoring position now with 2 outs. Ball is driven to left. This ball is hit high and deep. This ball is gone. Adam Lynn, his first home run of the season. His 3rd career home run against Jeff Neiman.
And it comes at a good time. Runner in scoring position. It looked like an off-speed pitch, the curveball. He's going to go after Lynn, try and get the strikeout, but he hangs it over the middle of the plate. Watch where this one breaks. Right into the middle of the plate, right into that sweet spot for Lynn, and he's got power the opposite way.
That's a 2009 Adam Lynn swing right there.
Certainly.
That's when he had his big season with the bat, going the other way like that. That's a great sign. Edwin Encarnacion takes a first pitch strike. Lynn is 2 for 2, single and homer. There's that cut fastball. This one's pulled off the plate outside.
Boy, that's a good sign if you get Adam Lynn starting to swing the bat the way Bautista seems to be coming out of it.
Breaking ball. The appeal to the first base umpire, Paul Nart, and he said no swing. Encarnacion tried to check his swing, and he went around and foul tipped that ball off the catcher. This has been a real problem for Tampa Bay early on, the starting pitching. Neiman went 5 innings last Thursday. Then Price went 3 on Friday. Hellickson 5 1/3 on Saturday, and Moore 6 1/3 on Sunday. That's not characteristic of the Rays starters
at all. They've had to juggle their bullpen. They've had to bring up a couple of young pitchers to help them through that series in Boston. There are the ranks. Team ERA.
Heyman will strike out Encarnacion to end the third inning, but the Blue Jays score 3. Big blow in the inning. Adam Lind, his first home run of the season, to the opposite field, a 2-run shot.
You know, most importantly, Buck, you know, they've got the number of left-handers in the lineup, and I think if you look at his past performance over lefties, he's had some control issues. It's almost like a feel where the right-hander gives him something to throw against, almost like a gauge for his release point. He's got to establish the same thing against a left-hander, and that's why we've used the curveball a little bit more than a cutter or a changeup to the left-handed hitters.
This is a welcome sight. Your 3 and 4 hitters going deep tonight. How's Bautista and Lynn's swing look tonight?
Well, I think we've seen over the last series against Baltimore, the timing with Jose has started to come along, and certainly he's put it together where he's got his contact point out front, and the first ball he hit, that's vintage Jose Bautista. But I think more importantly is to see Lindy go the other way twice, and that's keeping him in the strike zone and the bat not coming in and out of the strike zone as we've seen at times.
John, thanks for your time.
Okay, guys.
John Farrell talking about left-handed batters being a problem for Ricky Romero, and what he mentioned was the visual image Romero sees a left-hander, and there's kind of an openness out there over the plate that he doesn't have to deal with when he's facing a right-handed hitter. It's almost as if you don't have any target, like Pena standing off the plate, and where is that plate?
Yeah, where are you going to throw the baseball? And I think that's why, and he said it, his curveball is very important to him against the left-handed batters. He can start it right at him, hopefully freeze him, and have that ball slide over to the plate for a strike.
Pena goes against the shift and bunts it past Ricky Romero. Trying to get something going with his team down 4-0. We have seen him try this in the past. I honestly don't remember him ever being successful at doing this.
He usually fouls it, and this is a tough play because Romero gets off that mound. He is a good athlete. You can see how much room that Pena has, and all he's thinking about is getting the ball by Ricky Romero, and he almost comes up with it. Does Romero, but Pena will be credited with the hit.
A little different with Pena hitting second as well. Now you've got Longoria, the number 3 hitter, with a man at first and nobody out. First pitch strike.
I don't care what the score is. Whenever these two teams get together, they're always good games. Tampa Bay is one of the best teams in the American League at falling behind and then coming back. I mean, there's no panic in their game offensively.
Well, it's largely due to their stabilizing pitching staff. You get starters that pitch 7 and 8 innings, and everybody knows they're going to keep you in the ball game, so the defense just hangs in there. That was an interesting shot of James Shields, the ace of this staff, talking to Jeff Neiman. Boy, what an effort Shields gave Joe Madden yesterday when they needed it most.
Shutting out Boston, winning the game, the only game in that series, 1-0.
Longoria strikes out.
Curveball. Gets on top of it. Just drives it from a strike to a ball. And as a hitter, you don't know if that ball is going to stay in the strike zone. So you have to offer at it. Ricky picks up his third strikeout tonight.
Got Luke Scott with that curveball back in the second inning. Again, that shift inviting Scott to bunt. Very exaggerated shift.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him try the same thing.
Fouls it back. If you were a hitter, why wouldn't you? In this situation, you're down by 4. I mean, I could see it if it was a 2-run difference. But you're down by 4. You need a couple more base runners.
You need base runners, and they're almost daring you to do that. And again, all you have to do is bunt it hard enough and get it past Romero. You've got the whole left side of the infield wide open for you.
Curveball. That one got out of Ricky's hand. Didn't finish it. We are in the top of the 4th inning. This is a defensive discussion, you can bet. Talking about the alignment and should we stay with this? Are we going to shift out of this? Or I believe in exactly what you're doing.
Well, if anybody knows Luke Scott, it's John Farrell and Torey Lovullo. Luke Scott played for John Farrell when he was the farm director of the Cleveland Indians. And actually, Torey Lovullo was his manager one year. So they know what type of hitter he is.
Yeah, Luke Scott couldn't wait to get over and say hello to Torey Lovullo. First chance he's had to see him during the regular season. 2-1, 1 out. Lays off that inside pitch. Scott's a very good student of hitting. He understands what allows him to hit well, but he also keeps a very detailed book on all the pitchers he faces.
Just like the olden days, like we used to do. Now they have them all on DVDs and everything like that. That's Derek Shelton, the hitting coach, who was also in the Cleveland Indians farm system and had Luke Scott when he was there as one of his hitting disciples.
Sharply on the ground. Laurie goes to second for 1. Back to first. Double play. Blue Jays defense has been on its toes tonight. Eric Thames will lead things off, followed by Brett Laurie and Colby Erasmus. Blue Jays lead it 4-0. TD Comfort Zone is Easter Seals, Ontario. Now in its 90th year of helping kids with physical disabilities. The TD Comfort Zone, courtesy of TD. Welcome to Rogers Center, and certainly a front row seat to watch Ricky Romero and his teammates take on Tampa Bay. First game of the season series between these two ball clubs, and as Pat mentioned earlier, They are always very interesting ball games.
Lots of fun when these two get together. They just know each other so well, and they play the same style of baseball, putting a lot of pressure on the opposition. Built around pitching, a deep veteran bullpen. They're just very entertaining baseball games.
Eric Thames cuts on their first pitch, a curveball. Late on a fastball. There's a good example of being in between.
And right now, Thames is in between what he wants to do at the plate. Instead of seeing the ball and just letting his natural ability come through, thinking a little bit too much.
It's so easy for young hitters to allow pitchers to dictate the at-bats, where you become defensive at the plate. As he gets more experienced, he will have a game plan and stick to it. 1-2. I think we even saw him stick to the game plan at the end of the year last year, after he got a few hundred at-bats under his belt.
Pitchers might be changing up on Eric now this year. They might not be throwing him as many fastballs, or they might not be throwing as many breaking balls, and the pattern's just not there for him.
Boy, Neiman is just off with his rhythm a little bit. He hits Thames to start the fourth. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update. That's not the only thing that's gone south in Boston.
That's a kind way to put it.
Bobby Valentine has stirred up a hornet's nest in his first year managing the Red Sox. Valentine, in his comments after the Sunday game, said it just doesn't look like Kevin Youkilis is physically or emotionally into it as much as he was in the past.
And you don't think that fired up Kevin Youkilis? Oof.
First one in the clubhouse next morning. Brett Laurie takes a inside pitch for a strike. Of course, they did a lot of backstroking, talking. Valentine then said, well, you know, I didn't really mean it like that. I was misinterpreted. That's more one of the great quotes of all time came out of that Boston Genesis, that misremembered word. Laurie hits it sharply on the ground. Brignac to Rodriguez. Full Pena, double play. 2 quick outs. Now it's time for the Twitter question of the game. And the question comes from Chris Passanelli. Asked, Colby Rasmus has really turned me into a believer. Does a club change really turn a lot of careers around like this?
Oh, I certainly think so. You know, and you changed from one league to another, from one team to another. I think you just have a different view of things. I don't know if Colby Rasmus really fit in St. Louis, and we know that he didn't get along with Tony La Russa, but here he's playing with, you know, basically players his age for a manager who is a very, very much a player's manager. And I think changing leagues and changing teams can really help a ball player's career. I think it's going to do wonders for Colby Rasmus.
I think it's a great fit. Hits this ball on the ground. Bouncing ball to Pena, who shovels to Neiman. Looked like Neiman kicked at the bag as if he missed it, but it's a quick inning. Blue Jays go in order. We have played 4 here. Now it's time for Blue Jays Central. Top of the 5th inning here at Rogers Center. Ricky Romero shutting out Tampa Bay through the first 4 innings. Ben Zobrist, Matt Joyce, Sean Rodriguez to start things off. Zobrist takes a pitch down and in. Zobrist walked his first time up. Well, what a good player Ben Zobrist has been for Tampa Bay.
Ooh.
Versatile guy. He can play second and right field. He could play first if you need him to. He's a switch hitter. He runs well. Good base runner. And he can swing the bat with some pop.
Didn't hear of him until he came over here in that trade for Aubrey Huff from the Houston Astros. And he has turned into a great player. But all major league switch hitters and extra base hits and doubles. Just a doubles machine last year. He's had some trouble this year against left-handed pitching. He's only had 1 hit so far this year versus a lefty pitcher.
1-2. Outside, it's 2-2. Zobrist had a career high 27 home runs in 2009.
Combines power and speed. 2020 guy.
He was an all-star that year. Played in the all-star game in St. Louis. But it's a tremendous asset for a manager to have a switch hitter that can play multiple positions. This time it's a big bouncing ball. Escobar throws quickly in plenty of time. Fans, don't miss this. The Blue Jays All Access Contest, part of the Sportsnet charity broadcast auction. By making a $50 donation to Jays Care, you will be entered in for a chance to win the ultimate Blue Jays All Access experience. A meet and greet with Paul Beeston and Alex Anthopoulos. An opportunity to throw out a ceremonial first pitch, and if you're not there on a night when Ricky's starting, you'll throw it to Ricky Romero. A batting practice visit, a private tour of the clubhouse. 2 in-the-action seats for an upcoming game, and a guest PA announcer for a half an inning. The contest closes at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday, April 27th. Visit www.bluejays.com. Broadcast auction to enter today. Matt Joyce drives it into center field. Kobe Erasmus cuts it off, and he'll keep Joyce to a long single.
Joyce has a nice swing. Got off to a great start last year and then had some injury problems and slowed down in the second half. Was a platoon player, but you can see on that swing he can hit left-handers. Stays right in there against them.
Joe Maddon's strategy so far is working. 3 of the 4 hits collected by Tampa Bay have come off the bats of left-handed hitters. One of those, albeit, was a bunt by Carlos Pena. 1 out. Sean Rodriguez takes a pitch outside. Rodriguez hit a hot shot that was gloved by Kelly Johnson at second. His first time up.
Well, the one thing that Ricky Romero can do is he can throw ground ball double plays. Because he's got dramatic movement on a lot of his pitches, he can turn his fastball over, he can use the changeup or the curveball, he can get that ball on the ground.
Already has had 1 turned behind him tonight. Upstairs, 3-0.
Right now he's just fighting himself. You see him slapping his leg, trying to force him to stay back. Here are the double plays that we were talking about. Double plays induced since 2009. Ricky Romero, the head of the class, with 86 of them. 2 of them here tonight.
That's a 10 of ground ball double plays, and he is very good because he not only has movement, but he also has the ability to change speeds. 3-0 pitch to Rodriguez, way inside. 2 on, 1 out.
We had a shot again a couple of pitches ago of Romero slapping his back leg, and that's to remind him to stay back on that back leg just a little bit longer. Looks like he's flying towards home plate just a little bit right now. That's throwing his mechanics off.
Pitchers, just like hitters, have timing and rhythm. And Bruce Walton is a very good mechanic. He can fix faulty deliveries in a hurry. Ricky Romero's got to fix his own right now on the mound.
Yeah, and he's been able to do that in this season where he falls behind. He's been able to get himself right back into the rhythm. And there it is. He does it with a curveball.
That's a pretty good call by Aaron Sevilla, because if Romero's fighting his delivery, the curveball is one that really requires a pitcher to stay back and use his hand. It gets him back into the strike zone. Late on that fastball. That's good combination. Fastball after a curveball. Brignac for his career is 0 for 6 against Ricky Romero. Brignac and Sean Rodriguez going to work at shortstop this year, along with Jeff Keppinger. They're trying to figure out who's going to be the everyday shortstop. Blocked by Aaron Sevilla, but Joyce didn't get a good read at second. Couldn't find the baseball.
Might be the biggest improvement on the Blue Jays defense this year. We've been talking about it now since the first game of the season. The defense, and this is a big part of it. There isn't really a stat that you can look at in the box score on catchers blocking the ball, but the Blue Jays have been great at it this year.
They sure have, and Don Wakamatsu keeps track of those balls in the dirt and how many times that catchers have kept the runners from advancing. There's a base hit past Adamman into right. Bautista's coming up throwing. Here's the throw to the plate. Aaron Sevia's tag not in time. Matt Joyce beat the tag at home plate, and the Rays are on the board. Bautista made another strong throw.
They keep coming after you and coming after you, making you work for every out in the ball game. Isn't that with a good two-strike approach? Zipping it by Aaron Sevilla. You see he is out in front of on his front foot, but still has enough to slap it to Bautista. This is a good strong throw right here. Just a little bit off the mark, as you see Aaron Sevilla has to reach back, go up the first base line right there. So he has to leave home plate open a little bit, and that allows Joyce to slide in.
Good slide. Good tag by Aaron Sevilla, just a fraction of a second too late. Brignac has his first ribby of the season. This is what they do the best, and Laurie can't find the handle, and Brignac will move up. That first and third bunt play that Tampa Bay executes better than anybody. The Blue Jays defended it well when they didn't bunt it. Aaron Sevilla knew what he was doing.
Yep, they were going to try the pickoff, and the throw looked like it had a shot as it went from the outside to the inside, but it's dropped by Laurie, and the problem with that is double play is out of order now. The runner from first base moved up to second.
Well, Brignac was heads up once he saw the ball dropped by Laurie. He moved to second base. On the ground, Escobar deep, it's short, skips in, not in time to get Jimenez. It'll be an infield hit and an RBI as Sean Rodriguez comes in to score, and here come the Rays. This is just exactly their type of rally. A single, a walk, a base hit, advancing on a ground ball, just all kinds of things they do so well.
They would have got the force out at second base if not for advancing. They don't have a whole lot of power. They've got some guys who can knock the ball out of the ballpark like Pena, Longoria, Scott, but they just put together good at bats, and they use their good overall team speed.
It's a 4-2 game now. Still 2 runners on, and there's a bunt by Jennings. Romero near the third baseline in time to get Jennings. Jennings was bunting for a base hit. Romero made a good play on it. The runners advance. Second and third now with 2 outs.
Tried to bunt his last time up with a runner at on base. Not really seeing the ball off of Romero, but at worst, the worst case scenario on this, you've got a couple of runners in scoring position and 2 outs if Romero makes the play, which he did. At best, it's a base hit, so not a bad idea by Jennings there.
Another interesting move by Madden, putting Pena in the 2 spot. Seems to be working very effectively tonight. 2 for 2 so far. Tampa Bay has 6 hits in the ball game. 4 of them have come off the bats of left-handed hitters. Brenyak picked up his first RBI with a sharp single to right. So Joe Madden goes by percentages and saw that Ricky Romero, for his career, is better against right-handed hitters than left.
Loaded up with his left. He's got him into the ball game.
Pena went too far after that curveball. Well, that's a big at bat right here for Ricky Romero.
In both of his outings this year, there's been one inning where it's been the problem. In his first outing, it was the second inning. And then against Boston, he had one bad inning where he gave up 3 hits. The only 3 hits he gave up in the game.
Ball and a strike to the Rays first baseman Carlos Pena. Two for 6 so far in these situations. 2 outs, runners in scoring position. Curveball in there.
See Pena give up on it. He was thinking about it and then let it go. Now, early in his career, you could go high fastball with Pena and he would swing at it. A little bit more discipline. The later he has gone on in his career, is still susceptible from a left-handed pitcher. That breaking ball.
1-2. Breaking ball. He left it inside and Pena took it. Yeah, this is interesting now where Romero really has to think his way through this at bat. You got the dangerous Evan Longoria on deck. He's 0 for 2. You can see the wheels are spinning now.
Yeah, the lefty is 2 for 2. And the righty on deck, Longoria, 0 for 2.
I think you still attack Pena. Way out in front of home. He bounced that about 2 feet in front of the plate.
Just really hasn't had his feel here through the first 5 innings of this game with his off-speed stuff.
That was a changeup, and he steered it right into the dirt. Aaron Sebia saved a run for sure with that block. Where do you throw him here?
Curveball. Just the way he took it last time.
Second and third, 2 runs in this inning, 2 outs. Got it. Aaron Sebia tags out Pena. Romero strands a pair. But Tampa Bay gets on the board. It's a Selected tonight's Blackberry Tweeting Tuesday fan of the game. Patrick says the Blue Jays have always been his favorite thing, and he has a lot of memorabilia to prove it. If you'd like to be selected as the Blackberry Tweeting Tuesday fan of the game, send us a picture and tell us why you should be selected. For more information, log on to bluejays.com/fan of the game. Patrick's a good fan, as are all of these people here tonight. They're decked out in their Blue Jays gear. First of 3 against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is wrapping up a 10-game road trip. Detroit, Boston, and now Toronto.
We were talking about the Boston Red Sox having a tough time at the beginning of the season. Tampa's had a tough time.
19 of their first 22 games are against clubs that played 500 or better last year. All 10 games on this road trip. J.P. Arancibia. He had a hot shot off the glove of the third baseman, off the bare hand of Evan Longoria. Longoria was charged with an error back in the 3rd inning. This time he gloves it cleanly. Arancibia is thrown out. Longoria made a good play, but he was positioned perfectly against Arancibia.
Boy, he is smooth over there at third base. He and Adrian Beltre, the best, I think, in the American League at fielding. Look how easily he slides his feet over and caresses that ball, just eats it up, and then the accurate arm to pick up the out.
That's a pretty good example of why that first one should be a hit.
If he can't catch it, it's got to be a hit, right?
He made 2 errors in the 3rd inning. Committed 14 a year ago. Escobar. Escobar reached on an error. Reached on a fielder's choice. The error was the drop by Longoria. Changeup missed downstairs. Neiman, like Romero, has really kind of been inconsistent. He has some real bright spots. That was the 2nd inning. A couple of strikeouts in a 1-2-3 second.
Used his fastball more that inning. In that 2nd inning when he had a 1-2-3 inning. The cut fastball hasn't been very good tonight, I think, for him. He hasn't been able to command it, throw it where he has wanted to. I like the idea that he's using it, but he just hasn't been able to get it down. It's been up and it's been out of the strike zone.
Two and two. And it's not unusual for starters to kind of lose their rhythm from inning to inning. Price on the left, Matt Moore on the right. 2 terrific young left-handed pitchers, and I told you Price would be eating popcorn.
He found some somewhere.
Full count. This game is playing out like all the games we watched last year. Closely fought. Jeremy Hellickson, the other starter. This has popped into the air. Desmond Jennings closes ground quickly and makes the catch. 2 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Boy, Atlanta has turned things around very quickly. They got off to a slow start. Then Chipper Jones comes back off the disabled list and they catch fire. Atlanta has evened their record at 5-5.
I like that team. I like Atlanta. Like a lot of good young players and a lot of good young starting pitching. Watch out for them.
Tommy Johnson goes after that high fastball. 0-2. Way outside. We mentioned This team is built on starting pitching and defense, and so far this season their starting pitching hasn't been quite as effective as it has in the past. J.P. Howe, left-handed reliever, starting to loosen up. Neiman, this will be his 80th pitch of the game. Upstairs. And defense, we mentioned just 73 errors committed all season long by the Rays. Evan Longoria has been charged with 2 errors tonight. It's just the 4th time in his career that he's committed 2 errors in a game. Kelly Johnson strikes out. Jeff Neiman has a 1-2-3-5 5 complete here at Rogers Center. It's a 4-2 Jays lead. Ways to catch Sportsnet's live coverage of the Toronto Blue Jays. Watch the exciting live action all season long from your smartphone. Visit RogersAnyPlaceTV.com/sports for more information. You can take the game with you anywhere you go on Anyplace TV. Evan Longoria takes a first pitch strike from Romero. That's an interesting pitch. He finally drove that fastball down where he wanted it.
Release point is so important, I think, for Ricky Romero. The way that he winds up and then throws the baseball. There's a good cut fastball in the inner half. What the Blue Jays have done on the throwing sessions, in the side sessions with Romero, is to make sure that he stays on top and out in front. At times with his cutter, he'll get on the side and makes it so much harder for him to get back up on top. He can do different things with the baseball when he stays on top like that and out in front. He can sink it, put a little bit more pressure on that index finger and make the ball go away from right-handers, or he can cut it in on them.
Gets a piece of that one to stay alive. When you talk about making mechanical adjustments, what kind of things are you talking about with Ricky's hand and then through that delivery?
For Ricky, when he throws a cutter, sometimes he gets on the side like this and pushes it through it. It's hard for him to get on top and then drive through. He needs to stay out on top and out in front like this, where he can push that ball this way or push it this way. You get like this, and then it's hard to get back up on top like that for Romero. There's just too much of a room for his hand to move. When he's out in front and on top, he can make the ball do a lot of things.
Longoria pulls one through the hole into left field. A leadoff base hit here in the 6th. We mentioned pitchers and how difficult it is for them to work on things because they only have one work day really, and that's their side session between starts. That ball was up and Longoria took care of it.
You see, he was on the side of that one. He wasn't able to finish that pitch and get the bite that he needed.
Luke Scott will stand in again. He is struck out and hit into a double play, and Boy, if there was ever a time he was going to bunt, this would be it. But he is not a bunting guy. He's a power guy, and see if he blocks that ball again.
Well, you said it last time. You know, if it was a 2-run game, maybe. Well, it's a 2-run game.
Yeah, it sure is.
And that's what he's thinking about right now. Extra base hits. He's got power the opposite way. Very underrated hitter. Got a very good idea about his strengths and what pitchers are trying to do to him.
Goes after that pitch. It's an even count at 1-1.
He'll make adjustments in game with his stance, depending on the pitcher, depending on the count.
That's something you don't see that often anymore in the game. It used to be pretty common. You face a slow breaking ball guy, guys would move up in the box and try to catch the ball before it broke. On the ground, this should be 2. Johnson to Escobar for 1. Back to first, double play. They told you Ricky Romero could put the ball on the ground, and that's what he's done. Twice tonight, Luke Scott has grounded into double plays.
Huge double plays with runners on base. This one tailor-made. To the right of Johnson. Catch it, flip it, just get it in time for Escobar before that runner gets on top of him. He does, and Escobar is able to clear and make that throw over to first base.
Two outs. Ben Zobrist has walked and grounded out. Bounces it to Lynch. He gets a big hop and he'll go to the bag. What a quick inning for Ricky Romero. He straightened himself out in the 6th. Still leads by 2. Telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Another good ball game between Tampa Bay and Toronto. They have played tight games for the last couple of years at least, and last year Tampa Bay held the upper hand. They were 12-6 against the Blue Jays for the season series. Jose Bautista has driven home 2. He homered in his first at bat and hit a sac fly in the 3rd. Curveball missed away.
Challenge him, it looks like.
Up and in. This is where Neiman has really been in trouble. Bautista and Lind. They are 3 for 3, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and they've scored 2 runs. They've done all the damage. Got the slider over.
Just forces him to pitch to Bautista. Look for something in the strike zone right here.
That's a little better than what we have seen earlier. Bautista taking a borderline pitch, had a good look at it all the way.
Well, it looks like he's in swing mode right now. And what I mean by that is he's ready to swing the bat, and then his eyes will tell his brain when the ball's out of the strike zone.
3-1. Curveball. One of the better curveballs Neiman has thrown tonight.
If you could throw that curveball over in fastball counts, you're going to be around a long time. Does he double up on it?
Upstairs, Bautista laid off the high fastball. That might be it for Neiman. J.P. Howell is ready. Jim Hickey just talked to Joe Madden, and he's on his way to the mound. And he makes the call for the left-hander, J.P. Howell. Adam Lynn is at the plate, and he's gone 2 for 2 already tonight. Neiman is out after 5 plus a batter. Philadelphia Phillies will take on the San Francisco Giants. Scheduled starters in the game tonight should be Joe Blanton against Madison Bumgarner. Bumgarner just signed a nice contract, young left-handed pitcher, as the Giants are tying up all their starters, trying to secure the long term. J.P. Howell on with nobody out here in the 6th.
Now in his 7th season in the major leagues, J.P. Howell last worked 3 days ago at Boston. It wasn't very pretty. 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits and 2 runs, a walk and a strikeout.
Adam Lynn takes a first pitch strike.
He needs a strikeout here, and he's very tough on left-handers. He's got the fastball. He can cut that. There are his numbers this season in 3 games. He'll throw his curveball to the left-handers. That's where he'll get his strikeouts versus the lefties. 2009, what a year he had out of the bullpen for Tampa Bay. 7 wins and 17 saves for the Rays.
And he's been dealing with injuries. He missed the first 44 games last year, recovering from a shoulder injury that forced him to miss all of the 2010 season. There's that breaking ball, and Lind is in a hole 0-2.
He'll use it to the lefties. Fastball, he moves it in and out. He'll cut his fastball a little bit. Very deceptive motion out on the mound also. Hides the ball really well.
this is one area where Tampa Bay has really had problems going to the bullpen too early. We had mentioned last year the Rays had 79 starts from their rotation of 7 innings or more. That was best in the American League. That ball was bounced away in front of home. Jimenez does a good job. We mentioned Jeff Neiman last Friday went 5 innings. That's what he's done here tonight. And Price on Friday against the Red Sox went 3 innings. So now you're into your bullpen in the 4th. Hellickson Saturday went 5 1/3. Moore 6 1/3 on Sunday. They were bailed out by James Shields 8 1/3 Monday morning in Boston. Bautista thought about advancing, but Jimenez smothered him.
We certainly saw that a lot last year from the Blue Jays, where the starter just couldn't give them the innings that they needed to. That was a problem Tampa Bay didn't have to worry about one bit last year. And their bullpen was fresh the whole season. It makes matchups a lot easier for Joe Madden as he gets later into the ball game. But when you've got to go to your bullpen in the 6th inning, things are a little tough.
That one will allow Bautista to advance. Another bouncing breaking ball that Jimenez just let get away from him. It should be a wild pitch charge to have.
He'll use the curveball against the lefties. But right now he's bouncing it. That time ricocheting off the chest protector of Jimenez. Really falls off the mound to the third base side. That's that deceptive delivery we were talking about. A la Mitch Williams.
Full count. Nobody out. Bautista at second. Another ball that's down, and Lynn will take a walk. 2 on, no outs here in the 6th. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Joe Madden, after the walk to Lind, will call upon the right-hander to come in and deal with Edwin Encarnacion. Blue Jays have something going here in the 6th. 2 on, nobody out, and they already lead by 2. Brandon Gomes comes out of the bullpen to take over for J.P. Hal. Gomes is 27 years old. He originally started out in the San Diego Padres organization. He was picked up as part of a deal for Jason Bartlett going to the Padres.
Did a nice job in 40 games last year for the Tampa Bay Rays. 2-1 with an ERA under 3. And he was somewhat of a secret weapon against the Toronto Blue Jays. Gomes had 7 strikeouts in 7 games versus the Blue Jays.
He was very impressive, as the Blue Jays didn't know that much about him, and he came in and threw a lot of strikes, worked quickly. So Gomes is on to face Encarnacion. Nobody out. Bautista is at second. Lind is at first. They have both walked. Breaking ball for a strike. So one thing we saw from Gomes last year is ability to throw that slider. It's kind of a high 3/4 delivery, and it can be challenging for right-handed bats.
He'll throw it a lot. He'll throw it a lot against the right-handers. Righties hit just .217 against him last year. Use the fastball to go inside and use that slider.
Gomes is making his first appearance in the big leagues. He was sent to the minor leagues to build up some arm strength coming out of spring training. But they were anxious to get him back, and then because the bullpen has had to work so much, they've been shuffling relievers back and forth between AAA and the big leagues.
Alex Cobb was sent down today, and Gomes was brought up from AAA just today. Get some fresh arms up here that have been stretched out.
Encarnacion lost the grip on the bat there on a big wild swing. It's 2-2. Oh, what a great start he's gotten off to.
Watch this. He's got one thing on his mind with that swing right there. 3 runs. He has been a much better 2-strike hitter this year.
Two and two. He's off that breaking pitch.
We talked about the walk rate in the opening with Encarnacion. Last year he walked just 9 times in the first half of the season. That's it. In the second half, 34 times. So his pitch recognition was much better in the second half, and the batting average was much better. Hit .291 in the second half.
Full count, nobody out. Bautista from second, Lind from first, and Gomes steps off. Encarnacion did not hit a home run in his first 140 at bats last year. See, Pena had been instructed to hold Lind a little bit closer at first. Good rip by Encarnacion. This is the best start of Edwin Encarnacion's career.
When you talk about home runs, look at he did through the first 9 games, did not homer last year, hit .270. Off to a great start this year. 3 home runs in his first 9 games. Batting average excellent at .289.
Edwin has 9 RBIs to this point. Last year he picked up his 9th ribby on May 10th. He's way ahead of schedule. Pickoff at second, and Bautista is back. Tampa Bay will do all kinds of things defensively. I mean, they practice this for hours in spring training. So they're liable to work a pickoff play at first after that pickoff play at second.
Yeah, every team works on those things in spring training, and a lot of teams, they just forget about it. Tampa Bay is one of those teams that goes out there and uses it in the regular season.
Strike 3 called. Encarnacion thought the breaking ball was inside. Doug Enings calls it a strike, and Gomes gets out of a tough at bat there.
Backup slider. Encarnacion looked like, well, it looked like it went around the plate. This shot here will certainly tell if it missed the plate, and it did. It's just off the plate. Encarnacion, that's a good at bat, and he doesn't have anything to show for it.
Yeah, that's too bad. You see that breaking ball spinning, and knowing it's not going to break, you kind of assume it's going to be a ball. Looked like it was inside, and Encarnacion is called out. So that's the first out of the inning. Eric Thames with a chance to do some damage here.
Don't wait around. Be ready right here to swing the bat. Gomes is going to want to try and get ahead of him.
Another exaggerated shift here, even in double play situation. The shortstop is behind the bag at second.
They used this the last time Thames was up. This type of shift. Ground ball to Longoria. He is checking with his shortstop Brignac right now. I'm going to go to you for the double play. Sean Rodriguez, there's no chance the second baseman that he'd be able to get to the bag. You can see Brignac right behind Jose Bautista at second base.
Two and oh. Well, here's where Thames has to clear his mind and make sure he looks for one pitch in one spot.
And when you get it, be aggressive. Right now, you should be thinking about scoring both runs. Like a double up the gap into right center field.
Two and oh, one out. Up the outside corner with a breaking ball. Not the pitch he was looking for.
So just let it go. Looked like he's a little frustrated with that call.
Got to refocus on the pitcher. 4-2 ball game here in the bottom of the sixth. Off speed pitch. Gomes is unpredictable. We saw this last year in the limited action. We saw him. He'll throw that sinking fastball. He's got a decent slider and a changeup he's not afraid to use.
Coming into this game, 7 2/3 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts versus the Blue Jays, and a 1-0 record. That's just in 7 games.
Off the end of the bat, Longoria has a long run and throws not in time, off the glove. Here comes Bautista. He'll score. Lind is around third, and he'll stop there. But that ball had a lot of spin on it. And Longoria's had a tough night in the field. He's already been charged with 2 errors. That throw went off Pena's glove, and it could be a 3rd error charge to Longoria.
It's a tough play for third baseman. Coming in, you got to transfer and then try and keep the ball on the inside part of the infield. But from a right-handed throwing third base, when you're throwing like this on the run, that ball's going to tail on you. It tails right into the runner. And I'm sure Longoria is going to get a throwing error on that.
It's ruled a base hit for Thames and an error on Longoria on the throw, allowing the base runners to move up. That's his 3rd error of the night. First time in his career he's committed 3 errors in a ball game. Infield is in. Brett Lawrie takes an inside pitch. So Thames has an infield hit. Blue Jays have runners at second and third. They've taken a 3-run lead. Bautista came in to score. Gomes is leaving everything inside to Lawrie right now.
Yeah, he's going to hang one of those things, and Brett's going to zero in on it. He has a base open, but there is a left-hander on deck. And the Rays are just starting to get a reliever ready now, so he'd have to face Rasmus.
It's 2-0 to Lawrie. Rasmus is on deck. There's that inside breaking ball.
Well,
he's flirting with danger in there.
You start flipping one of those things up there, and the batter sees it a few times, they might unwind on it. He is unpredictable. Fastball counts. He's been throwing off-speed pitches and vice versa.
where he fights off the fastball. Brett Lawrie hit his first home run of the season in the 4th inning with 1 out on Brian Mattis, and he jumped all over that high pitch from the Orioles left-hander.
I don't think that one felt good right there. Fastball up, out, over the plate. And Brett Lawrie jumped all over it. Now with 2 strikes, it looks like he's choked up just a little bit here to get that run in.
Off the glove of Gomes. What a play. He knocks it down and saves himself a run, maybe 2. Quite a play by the Rays right-hander. That ball was headed to center.
Certainly. And did he backhand the ball and try and knock it down? This ball was single to center all the way, but Gomes very quickly knocks it down, finds it. Watch how he was able to reach back, get that big glove on it, have time to check the runner at 3rd base, and then throw Lawrie out at 1st. You got to walk Rasmus now, don't you?
Yep, you would think so. The base open and 2 outs, so they'll put Rasmus, the left-handed hitter, on and work to JP Arancibia. Arancibia is 0 for 2 tonight, but he's hit the ball hard twice, and he'll get a chance with the bases loaded. Wade Davis, former starter, now working out of the bullpen, starting to loosen up.
You can tell he just got up and started throwing when Brett Lawrie was at the plate. He is a former starter. Now he's got to get loose quickly.
Boy, pitching and defense has been the trademark of this organization for the last several seasons, and tonight that has let them down. Evan Longoria, the former Gold Glove winner, has committed 3 errors for the first time in his career, and for a 2nd consecutive start, Jeff Neiman leaves after just 5 innings.
That first error was a tough one. That was a hot smash by Arancibia to the right of Longoria, and it really ate him up. I mean, he didn't get any leather on the ball. He got his wrist on it of his throwing hand, and then just couldn't throw the ball across the infield.
And then he dropped a ball on a little chopper off the bat of Yunel Escobar back in the 3rd inning. He committed 2 of his errors in the 3rd inning, and then the throwing error here in the 6th. So JP Arancibia will step to the plate with the bases loaded. (5-2) Blue Jays. Lays off the breaking ball. Well, Blue Jays could use a big hit right here, and Arancibia could really use one.
Certainly. He's had a couple of hits this year and 5 RBIs. He's already had a bases loaded single.
Right on the corner. Ball on the strike to the Blue Jays catcher.
A bases loaded single and a 3-run home run. That's all he has to show for it. This would be a perfect time to line one up the middle.
Fouls it back into the seats.
Just getting underneath that ball. Front side is leaking out just a little bit. His back shoulder is dropping a little.
Can be very confident, but still, you know, fighting yourself inside just to get something going, just to get on the right track.
And it can be just a minor thing like that.
Gomes ahead 1-2. Upstairs. There's only been 1 hit in this inning, and it was an infield hit. A little squibber off the end of the bat of Eric Thames. 3 walks, 1 intentional walk, and the bases are loaded. A runs in.
Still looking for that big base hit.
Strike 3 call. Gomes gets out of it. His second strikeout of the inning. Blue Jays leave the bases loaded, but they add a run, take a 5-2 lead. Tuesday will take place May 1st. The Blue Jays will be home to take on the Texas Rangers. The game starts at 7:07 p.m. Great prizes to be won. First pitch, autographed merchandise, and t-shirts. Call the Blue Jays for tickets at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Ricky Romero is set to work in the seventh. Misses with the first pitch to Matt Joyce. Joyce singled and scored in the fifth. Hits this ball high and deep to right. Bautista looking up. This ball is gone. Matt Joyce puts a charge in it. His second home run of the season.
Well, he has looked very comfortable tonight against Ricky Romero. He lined into a double play his first time up when he pulled the ball right to Adam Lynn. Then he singled to left field his second time up, and now he gets that run. The Blue Jays scored at the bottom of the sixth inning back with one swing. Pitch over the middle of the plate there, and Sebia wanted it a little bit more away. That's right in Joyce's wheelhouse. He's got some natural pop, natural power. No doubt about that one.
So it's back to a 2-run lead for the Blue Jays. Matt Joyce, boy, he has really found a home here with the Rays. Started out in the Tigers organization. Was drafted in the 12th round. This goes to prove that not everybody is a first or second round pick that makes it to the big leagues. Jason Frazier, the right-hander, starts to loosen up. Sean Rodriguez takes a strike. It's 2-1.
Jays are working on a streak of their own, pitching 7 innings. They're starters.
Ricky Romero got that streak started with 8 1/3 against Boston on Wednesday. 7 innings or more from your starter. Then Brandon Morrow went 7 on Friday against the Orioles. Henderson Alvarez 7 innings, and Kyle Drabek 7 1/3. There's a walk. Rodriguez is aboard. The Rays are making it interesting. Now it's time for an update. Here's Jamie Campbell. So John Farrell has come to the mound. He's already made the call to the bullpen, and Jason Frazier will be summoned into this game. Ricky Romero just never really settled into a good rhythm all night long, but he'll leave with a chance to win this ball game. Jays are up 5-3. Nobody out here in the seventh. Tyson Frazier comes on to make his 5th appearance of the season, and he has done a good job so far. Frazier, the right-hander, will come in. He was scheduled to face Reed Brignac, who was the scheduled batter in the 8th. Well, Brignac had an RBI single in the 5th inning against Ricky Romero. But Joe Madden is going to go to the bench and call upon Stephen Vogt.
Vogt to pinch hit, the only lefty that they have on their bench. Frazier last worked 4 days ago and picked up his team-leading second hold when he pitched a third of an inning against Baltimore. He's trying to pick up his teammate right here and hold it right there as Romero pitches into the 7th inning. Gave up 8 hits.
Stephen Vogt still looking for his first big league hit. 0 for 12 with a couple of strikeouts. 27 years old. Snap throw to first, and Rodriguez is back in time. It's a 5-3 game. Matt Joyce led off the top of the 7th with a solo home run off Ricky Romero. Then Romero walked Sean Rodriguez, and Frazier was called into the ball game. Popped up. Kelly Johnson, the second baseman, and Vogt is 0 for 13 to start his big league career. The veteran left-hander Darren Oliver starts to loosen up for the Blue Jays down in their bullpen. This Jimenez, the catcher, getting a start here tonight. It's off to a good start on his evening. He's doubled, he's singled, and he's driven in a run. First pitch strike.
You know, at the speed of the Rays, they're never out of any game. You never take anything for granted. Rodriguez has some good speed over there at first base.
Had 11 steals a year ago. He has yet to attempt a stolen base this season. He was 11 for 18 last year.
With the left-hander not able to advance him, he is getting a very aggressive lead over there. They could do a couple of different things here. They could try and steal or hit and run, something like that, with your number 9 hitter. So be on your toes.
Fouled out of play. Jimenez checking his bat. Seems to be okay. He is in a hole 0-2. Jason Frazier in his 5th game of the season. Reacquired in the offseason by the Blue Jays from the Chicago White Sox. He last pitched on Friday in the Baltimore series, went a third of an inning, gave up a hit, was charged with an earned run. And he also had a strikeout in that game.
And right now he is looking for the ball on the ground. He's got a good split change and throws it with a good arm speed, good arm action. He's got a little bit dip to it. If he keeps it down, he can get that ball on the ground and get out of this inning.
Right past Aaron Sebia, and it takes a bounce all the way back to home plate, but that'll be a wild pitch charge to Frazier.
I don't know if J.P. Aaron Sebia got crossed up on this. Watch how he tries to catch this. Like he wasn't expecting that ball to cut like that.
It is unusual the way he went at it. Generally, when you see a ball that far away from a catcher, you're going to see the catcher go to the backhand. He didn't have much of a chance to catch it going at that with his palm up.
Well, that's a big pitch that goes to the backstop. Now the double play is taken away, or the double play opportunity.
Now Tampa Bay will always take advantage of that extra 90 feet you give them. Strike 3 call. Boy, Frazier, he really dotted the eye with that fastball. Outside corner at the knees.
And it just locks up Jimenez. He was looking for something off speed, and he just paints that outside corner for a big out.
Go back to the top of the order. Desmond Jennings. Grounded out twice. He's also struck out. Jennings has faced Frazier in the past, but he doesn't have an official at bat. Sean Rodriguez at second. Good giddy up on that fastball at 94. Jason Frazier has the ability to dial up 94 just about any time he wants it.
Better with rest. And you mentioned he pitched 4 days ago, so he has had some time to recover. And when he does, he's sneaky fast. I mean, he locked up Jimenez with a strike, and that time blew that one right by Jennings.
Another good fastball. Boy, you're right about the rest. He is packing a good heater tonight. Oh, and 2 outs. Popped out of play. Innings went upstairs and got on top of that fastball and fouled it back.
With that good hitter, I think you have to just keep challenging him.
I think you're better down than up. I think he's the kind of guy that can flare it and put it in play, but you keep it down around the knees, you'll have trouble making contact.
What you don't want to do is speed his bat up. And by that I mean throw a breaking ball that hangs in the middle of the plate. He's a better breaking ball hitter than fastball hitter.
Got that ball up. Rasmus has a bead on it. Backs up and makes the catch. Frazier comes out of the bullpen and strands a base runner. It's still a 2-run lead for the Blue Jays. Top of the order when we come back. Escobar, Johnson. plus 2 batters. The leadoff batter in the 7th, Matt Joyce, hit a solo home run against Romero. Then he walked Sean Rodriguez. Then he was out of the game. He was never really in sync tonight. It looked like he was battling his delivery most of the night.
Most of the night, and that's why he has the 3 walks in the 6+ innings. Here are the defensive changes. Stephen Vogt stays in the game and moves to left. This is why the Rays are so good. They're so flexible. Joyce can now move from left into right. Then Zobrist moves from right field into second base, and they shift Sean Rodriguez over to shortstop. They're so versatile. They have so many interchangeable parts.
Escobar swings at the breaking ball and falls behind 0-1.
But you're right about Ricky. It just seemed like he just wasn't in his delivery. And those 25 pitches he threw in the 5th inning might have upped that pitch count where he couldn't go 7 tonight.
But he's in line for the W. Outside, a ball on the strike. Seems like the Rays and Jays play these types of games more often than any other ball club. They're really closely matched.
Back and forth, back and forth. There's been comeback wins in this series. There have been walk-off wins when these two teams meet.
Tampa Bay, of course, a very good team. They've been to the postseason 3 of the last 4 years. Blue Jays have a ways to go to get on par with Tampa Bay.
They match up well with them, though.
Three and 1 to the leadoff batter here in the 7th inning. Leadoff walk. We'll be right back here tomorrow night in Game 2 of this 3-game series. Brandon Morrow with a 4-3 record against Tampa Bay and a very good 2.26 ERA in his career. Will go up against Big David Price. Price has owned the Blue Jays. He's 9-2 in his career against Toronto. Should be a great game. It all starts right here on Sportsnet tomorrow night at 6:30. Joe Madden will make a pitching change. He's got a second left-hander, Jake McGee, coming out of the bullpen. He'll come on to face Kelly Johnson. Blue Jays up by 2. Starter Jeff Neiman goes 5+ innings. He allowed just 3 hits. Only 2 of the runs were earned. He walked 1 and struck out 5, and the defense really let him down. 2 errors in the 3rd inning by Evan Longoria, and a 3rd Longoria error in the 6th.
And that was after Neiman had left the ballgame. And then a couple of mistakes. The pitch to Bautista for the home run, and then the home run by Lynn, and that's where we sit 5-3. Joe Madden has gone to his bullpen again, and this guy is a very intriguing guy. Jake McGee, the left-hander. Forget about that earned run average. It's up over 10. Right-handers are giving trouble. This guy is dangerous. He's got a lively fastball, that can reach 98 miles an hour. He's got a power curveball. Just 25 years old. He has pitched in parts of the last 3 seasons in the big leagues. What a weapon out of the bullpen.
He'll go to first base to check on Escobar. McGee has not pitched since Thursday at Detroit. He worked just a third of an inning, only threw 14 pitches in that inning. So he is well rested. And he has a starter's background, so he can stretch it out if needed. Kelly Johnson, the batter. Takes his strike. There's a good fastball, an idea. 95 with the fastball.
Yeah, he's got even more of that in the tank. You mentioned him being a starter. That's Dave Martinez going through the catcher's sign, what they want to do, if they want to throw over, pitch out, slide step. Being an ex-starter, he can work out of these types of jams. Guys on base.
And it helps when you've got 96. It'll get you out of a lot of jams.
For his career, lefties are hitting just 187 against McGee.
Well, it's really a strength in your bullpen if you can have 2 left-handers down in that bullpen. J.P. Howe didn't have his good stuff tonight. He walked the only batter he faced, Adam Lynn. But now you've got McGee later in the game. And a 3-pitch strikeout. Well, that's the first out of the 7th. Francisco Cordero loosening up for the 8th. Sergio Santos in the background, and he knows his inning is the 9th if there's a save on the line. Doug Eddings, the home plate umpire, is going to go out to the mound and try to break things up here with Bautista coming to the plate.
This should be a lot of fun, this at bat right here. A left-handed power arm versus Jose Bautista starting to get his timing back.
Jake McGee struck out Kelly Johnson on 3 pitches. Bautista 0 for 2 in limited at bats against McGee. 1 out. Late on the fastball, and again at 96. Well, I'd tell you what, I've never seen an organization that develops hard-throwing left-handers the way that Tampa Bay has. Moore, McGee, Price, they all throw 96, 97. Bautista hits it on the ground. Zobrist makes the play to first. 2 outs.
How about that? They aren't able to turn the double play because they're in that shift mode. Zobrist, who has just come into play second base this inning, behind second base, there's nobody to flip the ball to him. If he has to take a couple of steps to his right like he did, there's not going to be anybody there, so it gets a man into scoring position for Adam Lynn.
But at the same time, that defense was set up because Lind was behind Bautista, and the lefty-lefty matchup is one that Madden will take with McGee on the mound. Adam Lynn's had a good night at the plate. He's been on base 3 times, single, homered, and walked. Big insurance run at second for the Jays. They lead by 2. Ball and a strike to Lynn.
With this type of fastball and the left on left, I think you got to close off one side of the field. Don't even think about trying to pull the ball off of this guy. He throws too hard. All you want to concentrate at bat there is just get the bat out in front.
Breaking ball bounced in front of home plate, and Jimenez blocks it. His home run back in the 3rd went to the opposite field.
And that's where he is good. Right there. It stays closed on that breaking ball from Neiman. And the ball kept soaring right out of here.
First homer of the season in opposite field 2-run home run in a 3rd inning rally. 2-1. Upstairs, he lays off.
His single in the first inning went to left field also. A lot of hits over there.
Well, you can believe that he is thinking about one thing, and that's a fastball. Like you said, the one thing he needs to do is just stay on it. Don't try to pull it. Backed off a bit, caught the outside corner. It's full.
Yeah, that one was just 93. Line drive right over the shortstop's head. They're playing him straight away on the infield, the other way in the outfield.
Put that off the end of the bat. Lynn has talked all spring long about batting in the fourth spot, how important it is, and boy, he came through tonight. After Bautista hit sac fly in the third, he hit a 2-run home run. But even the fact that he was swinging a hot bat matched up against Jeff Neiman very well, they had to pitch to Bautista. Drives this ball to left. That's in front of Stephen Vogt. Here comes Yunel Escobar toward the plate to throw. He is not in time. Rendez 3 for 3, and he's driven in 3 runs. That's a huge insurance run.
Against the Rays, every run, I think, from the 7th inning on is a huge run. But what an at-bat by Adam Lynn. Stayed right on that ball. Didn't even think about trying to pull that ball. And he is rewarded with a 2-out RBI single. Watch him stay with this ball and stay on top of it. All 3 of his hits come to left field, and that is a huge run as Escobar cuts the corner at third and slides just ahead of the throw from Vogt.
Good job by Escobar to get past the tag of the catcher. Now they'll put Encarnacion on first with the base open.
That's how you come through with 2 outs and 2 strikes.
Let me tell you, both of those singles that Lynn hit, the first one off Neiman and that one off McGee, were pretty good pitches. He stayed on them and drove them to left.
Yep, that's what he can do. He can use his hands to go the other way to get those base hits.
Well, that's a great sign. Be able to come through against a tough left-hander like McGee.
He's throwing 95, 96 miles an hour and just take the ball the other way.
Stephen Vogt, the left fielder, makes a pretty strong throw on line at home plate. Jimenez just couldn't get that left leg in front of Escobar to block him off home.
Yeah, kick him out there or make him go around him, and it gives him a free shot right at the plate. He's just ahead of the throw. You see, he tried to kick him out.
Doesn't have enough strength when you extend that leg without really getting your body over the top of it. Good slide by Escobar, and the Blue Jays have a 3-run lead. Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, out to talk to his pitcher Jake McGee about Ben Francisco, who has been announced as the pinch hitter for Eric Thames.
Francisco new to the league, so Jim Hickey wants to make sure that young McGee understands what they want to do with him.
Francisco has appeared in 4 games for the Blue Jays. This will be his second pinch hit opportunity. Takes an inside pitch. He's hit against the Rays very well in his time with the Indians. In 17 games, he owns a .446 average. Played most recently in the National League with the Phillies.
Couple more out there for Francisco to pick up. He's got a short swing, so that helps him. That if he sits around for a couple of days, they don't need him, he can still come out there and put in good at bats.
Good rip. Boy, he was loaded up for that fastball and fouled it straight back. Well, it's a bonus to have veterans on your bench to come off the bench as pinch hitters.
Yeah, it's something that the Blue Jays really didn't have last year. Guys who could master the art of coming off the bench and doing something to help out the team. Francisco with that short swing can help the team with a base hit right here.
He took something off the pitch. McGee will get out of the 7th inning, but the Blue Jays get a big insurance run. Adam Lynn's had a big night at the plate. He's now hitting 300. Canada's all-new sports magazine. Now it's your turn. Go to sportsnet.ca/myowncover to put yourself on the cover of Sportsnet magazine.
Francisco Cordero now into the ball game. He has been the 8th inning man for the Jays in this short season. His 4th game, 4 games this year. Last pitched on the 14th against Baltimore. He was charged with a loss there. An inning, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, a couple of strikeouts. That was his first loss of the season. Picked up his first hold of the season the time before that against Boston. Rajai Davis into the game in left field. Picks up Ben Francisco, who pinch hit for Eric Thames. It's a little bit more speed in the outfield for John Farrell.
So it'll be the meat of the order for Tampa Bay as they try to get back into this ball game. Pena, Longoria, Luke Scott. Pena showing bunt this time, takes a strike. Pena had a bunt single back in the 4th inning against this exaggerated defense. Now Escobar takes a few steps over toward straightaway shortstop.
Over and in. If he squares around again, he might have to play a little bit closer to that line.
It's all about adjustments, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
This time he bunts it, and that's going to be another hit. Well, Pena did a good job of just squaring around, not trying to trick anybody, just get good wood on the bunt, and comes up with his 3rd hit of the night, 2nd bunt.
Well, he showed that he was going to do it earlier. He faked it on the first pitch, and this is easy. Just get it down and get it past the pitcher. There's no one there. Maybe they're going to have to bring that shortstop in on that infield, like that line that separates what would be the grass and the dirt.
Play him like he's guarding against the bunt. If you're going to use one defender, just try to take that away from him. But I'm sure the Blue Jays will come up with an adjustment. Evan Longoria looks at an inside pitch for a ball. Longoria has a single in 3 trips. Evan Longoria played 2 games to start the season a year ago, then went on the disabled list. Big swing and a miss. Longoria missed about 3 weeks of the season with an oblique injury and really had a slow start to his season, but nothing's wrong with him on that cut.
Yeah, he was thinking about home run right there. What a second half of the season he had last year after he started going. 20 home runs after the All-Star break.
Ryan Seaby looked like he just missed that ball, and it hit the umpire, and that allows Pena to advance to second.
Those hidden 90 feet. Again, stabs at it and just misses it as it hits the shoe of the home plate umpire. But those hidden 90 feet, now the double play is taken out once again.
Yeah, it really changes the entire mindset of the infield now. You're thinking about a possible double play. Blue Jays have already turned 2 infield double plays. This should be an easy out for Bautista. Pena is not going to tag. He'll stay at second. That previous play was ruled a wild pitch charged to Cordero. I think Aaron Seaby would tell you he can block that ball if he goes at it properly. Longoria's retired. This has been a problem area for Tampa Bay, the 8th inning. They've been outscored 18-0 in the 8th inning this season. Their bullpen is a little bit in shambles right now as the starters have exited a little prematurely so far. All but James Shields and Hellickson in his first start.
And they've had an injury to their closer, Kyle Farnsworth, so everybody in that bullpen has to move up a notch.
Tell you what, Jake McGee certainly has the stuff to be a closer. Cordero, as we mentioned, working in his 5th game since the season began. Just a total of 4 innings coming into this game. Down and away, it's 2-0. The one thing you don't want to do with Tampa Bay is encourage them that they can get back in this game.
Right. You got to make the plays defensively. I think you got to make them hit their way on. They're very good at working at bats and then working walks to their advantage because of that team speed. Zobrist is the guy they should be worried about. He's the guy, he's the tying run who's on deck.
It's Scott with a big swing. Scott's struck out and grounded into a pair of double plays. Scott is now 33 years old, and he's been around for a while and really didn't get to the big leagues until later on in his career. He had some time with Houston back in 05 and 06, and really 07 is where he turned his career around with the Astros, and that led to his trade to Baltimore.
Went to Houston, and you mentioned Baltimore. He got a chance to play in Baltimore and really establish himself or reestablish himself after a couple of good years in Houston.
They had 3 consecutive 20 or more homer seasons. He had 23 home runs in 08, 25 in 09, and 27 a career high in 2010.
He's going to fit in real nice, I think, with this Rays team. He can DH. Still trouble with that shoulder. Had shoulder surgery last year when he was with Baltimore, and they elected not to sign him as a free agent and signed over here.
Out in front of that pitch, and he pulls it foul. Boy, that's an old jersey.
Got that out of mothballs, right? Well, look at the stitching on it.
Yeah, his dad must have given him that.
Right out of the 80s, man.
Full count, 1 out. It's a 6-3 Blue Jays lead. Francisco Cordero came on to start the 8th inning. And there's the walk. 2 on, 1 out. And Ben Zobrist will come to the plate representing the tying run. We mentioned what a great start the bullpen got after that first game. In 16-inning ball game, they pitched 11 innings and didn't allow a run. Since then, their ERA is closing in on 6.
Baltimore did a lot of damage against the bullpen in the 8th and 9th innings here. It's part of that homestand. And you're up some home runs. Nolan Reimold comes to mind.
How about Reimold? He hit another home run in the 9th inning in last night's game. Ben Zobrist takes a pitch upstairs. Here's the guy you were concerned about. Zobrist represents the tying run, and this is the way the Rays do it.
Yep.
Kind of lull you to sleep. A bunt, a walk, and all of a sudden they're within striking distance.
And another guy on deck that's got some power, and he's already homered tonight, is Joyce. You mentioned them being in the playoffs 3 out of the last 4 years. There's no panic in this team. And they know how to play late in a game.
Cordero reaches back for a little extra, and he wants to talk things over with Aaron Sebia before he throws this decisive pitch. It's 1-2, 1 out. So Madden constantly looking at his lineup card with the matchup sheets and a reminder of how his players have fared against the Blue Jays. Come on and miss. Cordero makes a good pitch and strikes out Zobrist.
Wow, that is a big out right there. Zobrist, he has killed the Blue Jays late in games the last few years with walk-off hits and game-winning hits. This time comes up empty on that fastball.
Zobrist off to a bit of a rough start to his season. Matt Joyce, on the other hand, already has 2 home runs. He hit his second here tonight in his last at bat. And he lined into a double play his first time up. He has hit the ball hard 3 times.
Yeah, all 3 times. Now that came off of a left-hander. And you would think that the splits would favor the lefty.
Out in front, it's 1-1. Carlos Pena's at second. He led things off with a bunt single. Then 1 out later, Luke Scott took the walk. The Rays have out-hit the Blue Jays 9-5. Back in the 7th inning against Ricky Romero.
Watch how he stays closed on this pitch. Romero wanted to get it a little bit further away from him. But it leaks out over the middle of the plate, and Joyce picks up his second hit of the night. A home run. I think you got to stay away from him here.
Keep him in the ballpark. Make him go opposite field. 1-2, 2 outs.
Make him reach for something.
Oh, he crossed him up. He surprised Matt Joyce, the veteran. Francisco Cordero, 2 big strikeouts to end the Rays' threat. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg. It's the Tampa Bay Rays, and there's a CN Tower right next door to Rogers Center. Always a great destination for fans and tourists coming to the Toronto area. Big 6'5" Rick Badenhop comes on to work the 8th inning. Badenhop was part of that big trade the Tigers and Marlins made a few years ago. He went from Florida to the Detroit Tigers along with a boatload of guys for Miguel Cabrera and Dontrell Willis.
Cameron Maybin was in that trade. Andrew Miller was in that trade. Badenhop's got a great sinker. That's his bread and butter pitch. 91-mile-an-hour sinker. He's got a slider and a changeup, but mostly he keeps the ball on the ground with that good sinker.
Down and away, outside for a ball. Brett Glory had a rough night. He's 0 for 3. Blue Jays have had just 5 hits. Lind has 3 of those 5 hits. Bautista has 1, his home run. The other hit was an infield hit off the bat of Eric Thames, a little squibber to third that
went maybe 70 feet.
Longoria couldn't make a play on it. It was a spinning ball he threw wide of the mark, but he had a long run to get to it. Glory center field and deep, and Desmond Jennings will watch it sail into the seats. Home run, Brett Glory. Mentioned how the 8th inning had been a real sore spot for Tampa Bay. Now they have been outscored 19-0.
What a pretty sound when a Blue Jay hits a fastball, and Brett Glory gets all of this one right down the middle, and there's no doubt about it. Jennings can just turn and watch, because this one's not coming back to dead center field. Home run number 2 for Brett Glory.
3rd home run of the night for the Blue Jays. Glory had a home run on Sunday. Picks up a home run here tonight. It's a good swing when he stays right there, middle of the field. He's got enough power to hit it out anyway.
Yeah, don't think about too much. Just go up there and react to what you see. And he saw a fastball over the middle of the plate. Told you Badenhop's got a good sinker. That one didn't sink. That one was right there.
Colby Rasmus. Rasmus is 0 for 2. He has walked intentionally in the 6th inning. Rasmus, a base hit into center field. First hit for Rasmus. Glory comes off the field to celebrate, and look at Bautista. He's got a pad to protect his hand from.
Remember in Cleveland when he went by him, he was slapping 5 to everybody and almost broke
again.
Jose's hand. Excellent.
That's awesome.
Well done.
Got your Glory gloves on. So back-to-back hits here. Greet Brett Badenhop in the 8th. J.P. Arencibia scored a run back in the 3rd when he reached on an error by Evan Longoria. First of 3 errors the 3rd baseman committed. Sergio Santos was up and firing, getting ready to come in for a possible save. Now Casey Jansen has gotten up. Arencibia hits it high left field. Vogt's got room now. He comes back toward the infield, makes the catch. Arencibia just got under it. So back to the top of the order. And now Escobar walked and scored in his last at bat. Santos hasn't pitched since the 11th. That's last Wednesday in that day game. Came on to pick up the save in the Ricky Romero game that salvage the final game of the Boston series. So he probably could use an inning of work. There goes Rasmus. The ball is bounced on the ground, and Escobar is retired. Zobrist makes the play to first. Rasmus moves up.
Blue Jays playing some hit and run right there with Escobar. He almost got it through. Rays picking the right side of the infield to stay right there. I think you pitch Santos here. 4-run lead, even though it's not a save situation.
I think that's probably what they're going to do, just to get him back on the mound. He had that leave to go to California for the birth of his third child. This is really the toughest call for a manager. You don't know if you're going to have a save situation tomorrow.
That's right.
You might have 2 in a row. Might need him. John Farrell, I'm sure, is trying to figure out what the right move is. You'd like Santos to come in and throw about 9 pitches and have a 1-2-3 inning.
Certainly. He was up and ready. Save situation before the home run by Laurie.
Kelly Johnson out in front of it, pulls it right to Pena. The Blue Jays had another insurance run, a leadoff home run off the bat of Brett Laurie. They also strand the base runner. We'll go to the 9th with the Blue Jays leading by 4, and indeed Sergio Santos will come in to work the 9th. Even though it's not a save situation, Santos, as we mentioned, has not pitched since last Wednesday in the Boston series.
6 games, 6 days ago, 2/3 of an inning against Boston, pick up his first save of the season. Talking to him earlier today, and I was asking about him, what the problem was earlier in the season. He said, I'm just rushing things. We've really ironed some things out down in the bullpen with Bruce Walton. Slow his body down just a little bit more in that breaking ball throw for strikes.
Santos will work out of the stretch, and he'll deal with the bottom third of the order. First pitch strike to Sean Rodriguez. Rodriguez has been on base twice. A couple of walks. He's also lined to the second baseman. Sergio Santos certainly had a disappointing debut here at home in the opener against Boston. He was saddled with that lone save and was booed off the field. That had to be tough first game here. I mean, this kid really wants to be part of this team, and he knows his responsibility is to close out games.
You know, that's the last thing you want to do when you come to a new organization and you come to a new city, is in a big situation like that, not come through. But he was excited. He was jumping out there a little bit too quickly. He was coming out of his delivery, but now he has calmed down. He looks good.
One down now for a preview of what's coming up next on Connected. Here's R.J. Broadhead and Ken Reed. Pinch hitter for Tampa Bay will be Jeff Keppinger, right-handed hitter. Well, that's got to be great news, huh? Hey, wanting it back, go up there against Sergio Santos.
But there was a lefty. Why am I pinch hitting for a lefty? This just the way Joe Madden is. He gets his players into the game and a chance to face Santos. Maybe it'll pay off for him down the line.
Ball on a strike. Keppinger is a good pickup for this team. I think he's going to have a big role with this ball club before it's all said and done. Guy can swing the bat. As he does right there. Brett Lowry coming over from third can't make a play on him. It's a base hit. It hit Santos. I'm not sure where it got him, but certainly hit him after he delivered the pitch. A comeback right to the mound.
Yeah, it's a good sign right there as he tells J. Pierre and Sebia he is okay. Turns his back on this line drive by Keppinger. And it looks like it might have got him in the back area. Be able to tell right here. He says he's okay.
Right on top of the one. Well, I tell you what, I don't know how they do it. That ball comes back so fast. And I mean, we have seen it before, and guys have been hit, but boy, oh boy.
Yeah, scary.
That ball comes back at you like a bullet. Chris Jimenez has had a good night tonight. He's doubled, he's driven in a run with a single, and he's struck out. Late on that fastball. Boy, Santos got a little better command of his fastball tonight. That was a problem for him in his Rogers Center debut with the Blue Jays.
He was just coming out of his delivery, trying to throw it through the batter. Calm things down, stay in your delivery, get that arm up so it can catch up with your lower half. He's got one of the better sliders in all of baseball.
Pulled on the ground. Lowry comes after it. Johnson for one. Back to first. Double play. What a sweet end to a ball game. The Blue Jays turned 3 ground ball double plays. They also turned a line drive into a double play. Bautista with a home run in the first inning and also threw out a base runner in the first. Lind with 3 hits and 3 RBI tonight. His first home run of the season. Brett Lowry homered for a second consecutive game. The bats are really starting to come alive.
Yeah, the power in the bats are starting to come together. And Ricky Romero struggled with his command, but fought his way. It's giving him 6+ innings pitching into the 7th inning. They turn it over the bullpen and they just slam the door on Tampa Bay. They're always good games when you play the Rays.
Ricky Romero improves to 2-0 on the season. We'll be right back here tomorrow night. David Price and Brandon Morrow.